What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Coach Phil podcast. As always, I'm your host, Coach Phil, where I get to talk about my life experiences as a coach and as a daily earthling. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. I'm back on the pod. I've just been busy. I hope everybody's having a brilliant day, whether you listen to this in the morning, evening, or night. I hope you had a bomb day. I hope it was dope. So, yeah, man. It feels good to be back in the zone. As you can tell, we got a few little upgrades to soundproof the room, and it sounds better. There's no echoing in the office. It just sounds so much better. So, yeah, hope everybody's doing good, and yeah, let's get this one rolling. I kind of want to talk about self-responsibility and how it leads to accountability. As a kid, we're given chores, and it's either like you do them or you don't, and your parents kind of hold you up to that responsibility to do them. They're not holding you accountable. Like, sometimes you're going to forget to make your bed. I guess homework is different because if they have to tell you, don't you think that's your own self-responsibility, that you're the one who got the homework? Why are your parents having to remind you? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's kind of a topic that I don't want to upset anybody at, because a lot of this stuff is it's all stories that are going to be talked about are real, 100%. And some of the stories that I'm going to talk about, I'm not the most proud of, because it sucks that it leads to that. And not having accountability as an adult, man, dude, I don't know what I would do as an adult if I wasn't accountable for the certain things that I had to do, especially for my children. My children don't have the same, things, the accountabilities that they do. I have self-responsibilities on them. I don't hold them accountable to make up their bed. There's no one coming over here to look at their bed. So if they don't make it up one day, it's okay. I'm not pissed. Stuff like taking the dog out, that's stuff they're accountable for because that's their pet. And I try to teach my son that if you want the pet, you got to take care of it. I can't always take care of it. I'm busy myself. He knows that. So, yeah, I just, I hear the phrase a lot that, even, some people that tell me about my kids. But anyways, the silver spoon phrase. I don't like hearing, oh, that kid has a silver spoon. So what? Their parents are successful, so what? Let their parents do whatever they want. What if the parents didn't have anything when they were growing up and now they're giving their kid the world? Dude, what are you being a hater for saying that? I think it's such a rude phrase. Because it's their parents' earnings and they're treating their child or children to it. So it shouldn't matter to you. Using silver spoon, listen, to me, I think it's okay to have that kind of phrase, that kind of title, right? But as long as you know how to clean it. Think about that. Your kid may have the acknowledgement of, dang, my parents they have wealth, and so I've been blessed with a silver spoon to eat off of. I don't have a plastic spoon because it won't break. It won't melt. It's a silver spoon. I mean, yeah, it'll melt because it's metal, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to hold a lighter to it for it to melt. It'll stay sturdy. I have a silver spoon and I got to make sure I keep it clean, because if I eat from a dirty spoon, I could probably get sick. So check this out. I don't want y'all to get offended by me saying this, but I feel like people nowadays are afraid to hold other people, strangers, accountable. I get it. It's a boundary thing. And because obviously you hear all this stuff in the world and how people are very outlandish and they'll literally like commit violent acts. So I get it. But I mean, I guess you can say learn to pick and choose your battles and not let people get all walked over. Because if you allow it, that person's going to continue to do it. You know, I'm luckily enough, I'm allowed. I mean, I'm able to tell when a person's a threat, you know, or if a person's not a threat. You know, so in this case, like I went to whenever I first moved to downtown McKinney, I went to Mellow Mushroom. I've never been. I heard the pizza's really good, and the pizza's really good. So I went there. It was around March. We went to go watch March Madness, and when I say we, I mean me and my friend that was helping me move. And well, y'all know I don't drink. We just ordered pizza. We just wanted to watch the TVs, and this guy storms in, just kept creating such a ruckus. Like, oh man, this guy, he was demanding that his pizza was at the podium and that he had called in ahead of time because he was in a rush. And so he came over to the bartender and he's like, you guys got the call. You guys should have had the pizza at least here at the bar. And the dude was like, dude, you got to go to the restaurant. And obviously that guy wasn't going to take that. He's still continuing to be wrong and strong and saying that his pizza probably got picked up by somebody else and just victimizing. It was just ugly and it was annoying. And immediately I hated the guy. Immediately. I don't care what he looked like. I don't care how tall he was. I don't care how big he was. I hated him. And I mean, I'm going to say I really disliked his attitude. I don't hate people. So the bartender ends up going to the manager because you can tell it just ruined his day. It ruined his whole vibe. Like, he did not even want to be there anymore. He wanted to say, F this, I quit. I can tell on his face. So he went to go get the manager. The manager comes back and basically tells the dude, you have to pick up in the restaurant area. Fool huffs and puffs with the manager to the restaurant area. They get his pizza. It didn't get taken by nobody. Well, me being me, like I said, I learned to pick and choose my battles on who I speak to. You know, when someone looks like they got a screw loose, you just kind of just don't mess with those people. You could tell. But when it looks like somebody that thinks that they could do that and then leave and they don't look like much of a threat, oh, Coach Phil's going to speak up. I was not going to let that slide because not only did he yell at the bartender, he just kind of disrupted a whole vibe inside the whole area because there was other like customers, other people eating as this stinky fat man comes through and starts cussing out the bartender. And so he's trying to slither out here, literally like holding his pizza, trying to like quickly walk out. I holler, yo, no. You will not leave without apologizing to this guy. Like, for real, dude, not even on my bad? What's wrong with you, man? You got your shit and now you want to just dip without taking accountability? And so he you can tell like he was in a hurry. I understood he was in a hurry, but I wasn't going to allow that to happen. And so he came over to the bar guy and he was like, dude, my bad. I'm just in a hurry. And I would really appreciate if you accept my apology. And so he fist bumped the dude and total mood changer. You know, total mood changer when he did that because I held that person accountable and made sure that he knew that he was never going to do that again. made sure that he understood that when he walks into another establishment and it doesn't go his way, to not disrespect and disregard that is a human being you're talking to. A person you don't know. Respect, and then you get respected. You don't just walk up into an establishment and just start talking your mess just because you called and they told you something that wasn't even true. So, yeah, man, I just didn't like that. I don't like it when people like think that they can get away with just treating people like that. I hope he understood that message, that anybody could speak up. Anybody could speak up and put him in his place. I hope he never did that again. So, yeah, man, you see, like that's what we grow into. If we don't take accountability into our actions as our youth, like our responsibilities, like think of manners as like just not being rude to somebody. Like you don't have to think of them as just being cordial and like, no, that's not what we do. Like, type attitude. Like if you just said, no, have your manners. Like that's not what we do. No, it's like, how about it just be not treating people rudely, just manners. How about that be the definition? And take accountability for it. Because like I said, that's what we grow up into. Victimizing people, thinking they're entitled because they thought they got the full communication. Like that's not your establishment. Those aren't your rules. That's not the policy. Why can't that just be respected? But no, you want to be you want to be wrong and strong and talk to people who have no way. We're all the same human being. So, understand that, man. We can't keep feeding the youth that it's okay to be that way. Cause that guy was once a kid. So you're gonna tell me he treated people like that all his life? Nah. He was conditioned to do that. Like you could tell you that wasn't his first rodeo. But this time he got an earful from Coach Phil. So yeah, man. And if like if you're not afraid to, if you're afraid to talk to like a stranger, cool. Like you don't want to get a stranger, you don't want to hold a stranger accountable, fine. But what about your friends? How many of y'all are afraid to hold your friends accountable because they'll act up a certain way or just completely be a narcissist and start lying on your name, or you're afraid of what the repercussion is just because you don't want to hold them accountable first. I had this friend, when I say had, like big old bold had this friend. He would try to sleep with my sister every time I was out of town. Look, he was my best friend. At that point, when it started, we were already friends for like 12 years. And within 5 incidences, like me going to California or Colorado, or if I went to Trinidad, or if or if I went to New Mexico or Galveston for coaching, like he would always go to my house, my parents' house where I lived, and try to sleep with my sister. It made me so uneasy every single time because I would confront him about it. Like I wasn't afraid to hold him accountable for that because I was waiting for him to tell me the truth or try to make me feel stupid. Like I hated when he did that because to this day I still think he thinks that I'm stupid. And for those who know me, y'all know who I'm talking about. For those who went to school with me, y'all know who I'm talking about. And yeah, he did. Even when he had a girlfriend. Like it's one thing to say like, bro, I like your sister. Can I date her and respect her as a lady? But no, you wanted to violate her just like you did with all your girlfriends or flings. You just kind of leave them for dead, man. And I didn't like that, and you continued to do it. And then when I would confront you, you would say, "Oh, well, I don't remember. And if I did, I don't remember." Like, bullshit. We were 13, 14, 15 through 19, whatever. Throughout our teenage years, without drinking alcohol or smoking pot. You don't remember, dog? You don't remember the same text messages my sister showed me? Like, man, how stupid do people think that people really are? And there goes respect. You don't even respect my intellect. You think I'm that stupid? So, yeah, like I said, I had that friend. And after a while, I just dropped him because I guess I got tired of holding another man that was supposed to be a man accountable for his actions. Like, how long were you still gonna lie to me and hold me make me feel bad about myself? You know? Oh, well, I got you this. So that gives you a right to go to my place when I'm not there and try to sleep with my sister. Bro, get out of here, man. And then you go and lie, saying, "Oh, I don't remember." So you don't want to take accountability? Bro, get out of here. So we're afraid to hold our friends accountable because we're always afraid of that lying repercussion. And if they lie to you, they're lying for you. They're doing it for you. They're not lying to you. They're lying for you. So you can open up your brain and say, like, you know what, dude, you're just a dirty person. I don't think I even want to be your friend anymore. You're just a terrible person. You're just lying straight to my face, insulting my intelligence, thinking I'm that stupid. Oh, well, if I did, I don't remember. Shut up. Shut up. Man. So, with that, this brings me to another story with a group of people I met here in the downtown area. And these girls have been best friends for a very long time. Just as long as probably me and that other guy. But they maintained their friendship. So, I'm not going to say names, but we all went to the pool. We were all hanging out, and, well, I'm at the pool, hanging out, reading my book, chilling. And so they're talking to me, I'm conversating back to them. Well, the girls and one of the girls' boyfriends, they were kind of drunk. They were already drinking, day drinking. And well, the girl without the boyfriend, she was a little she over pre-gamed. Let's just say that. And so she came to the pool already kind of extra. And well, after a while, we all got hungry. I mean, we were all at the pool for maybe 2 hours. We all got hungry. We went and got changed and decided to go meet at the yard. The yard's right around the corner. It's actually a dope place. I love the yard. The food's great. The buffalo shrimp, man, girl, whoo! I love that stuff. If you're depressed, go get some buffalo shrimp at the yard. That is gold. Yeah, so we all meet up at the yard, and, well, the girl that was over pre-gamed, she decided to continue her bender. And, well, as we were all talking together, we're talking about one topic, and she wants to butt in with, "Oh, well, oh, well, me, oh, well, I," and we were questioning her about it, and she would give us some kind of just outlandish answer, and at some point she realized that her own friend was just kind of just not talking to her because she was too drunk. So she took it upon herself to grab a full cup of ice water, and When I say, if you guys ever been to Chili's, you know it's the big cup with ice in it, with water. And she just, boom, dropped the cup and took off. My jaw, the boyfriend's jaw, was dropped. It was like out of a movie. It was like the most messed up thing I've ever seen, because the girl who got the water dumped on her, she did not deserve that. So we let her go. We already knew where she was going, and we knew she was going to be safe, so we let her go. And throughout the night, it bugged me. Like, we all hung out. Like, we talked about how messed up whatever the thing is, and I think that's what she wanted. She wanted to be talked about, and so we did talk about her for a brief moment. But after the night went on, it bothered me that I knew those girls, they were just going to forgive each other like that. And so I told the other girl, I was like, man, you can't let this happen again. She doesn't respect you. Like, if it was my friend, I would have the understanding that you do not respect me in the public. You will just immediately humiliate me for your leisure, for your pleasure. Because you're going to leave here, I got her. You know what I'm saying? With that kind of like vindictive attitude. I can't do that. No. And so I told her, I said, you got to hold her accountable. Don't talk to her for a few days. Unfortunately, they had concert tickets, so that few days ended up to be like 1 or 2 days. So there was really no accountability held. Well, come recently, I'm at the pool with my kids, and, well, the girl and the boyfriend, they live nearby, you know, so they're neighbors to me. They come to the pool, and I'm like, oh, no. That means homegirl's going to follow through right now. Just go get the kids, just leave. And she's like, don't worry, she's not coming. I said, what happened? Is she at work? She was like, no. And something else happened. I said, oh, Lord, what happened now? And so she ended up telling me that she threw the boyfriend's cell phone down the toilet and was flushing it, and then threw his wallet out of the car window as they were driving. Stating again, I don't respect you because you're not listening to me. I can't do the victimizing, dude. You know, I can't do that I get it. You want attention. I get it. You want us to talk to you. But for your outlandish behavior, and then you wake up the next day saying, oh my God, no, I drank too much. Oh my God, I don't remember. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Not taking accountability. Blaming it on the alcohol, so then you don't need to drink alcohol. You don't need to. Because if you're just going to continuously blame it on that, then you're basically saying, I'm an adult and I don't want to take responsibility for anything, so I'm going to drink this beverage that's basically poisoning my brain. Making me do things without thinking I don't have repercussions. So, yeah, ever since she said that to me about the boyfriend's wallet, I hope the space has been established and that she's being held accountable this time. Because, man, I could not, if that was just a friend of mine, like on a daily basis, I don't know how I would be able to call myself sane. Like, I know that sounds rude. Like, dang, Coach Phil, what the heck? I know, but man, for me to have to be responsible for you on a daily basis because of your outlandish behavior, no, man, dog, what you doing? So yeah, I know they're still gonna be friends because I ended up talking to her like that the first night. I was like, I'm not saying don't be friends with her, just you guys need some space. You guys already work together. You guys have hopped from 3 jobs together. So you guys are always attached at the head. Not even at the hip, at the head. You know what I'm saying? Where they literally can't escape each other. So yeah, they just need some space. I don't see the friendship dying. They're good people. I think they're good. I think they're honestly very good people. But that one girl, man, she just need a little bit of help. And I pray for her, man. She's a good person. I know she'll get out of it. She's a strong girl too. She'll get out of it. They just they need to talk to her, as a friend and just hold her accountable now, because at this point now it's too much. You're doing too much. So yeah, man. Oh, so much. It's so much. But this is what it is to like, and on top of it, she would talk about like how her daddy's rich and how she has this and she has that. So it's like, you're telling me you have a silver spoon. You're basically saying that you grew up with the silver spoon, but you have yet to clean it. And this is what happens when you don't clean your silver spoon. You get sick. Because she is sick, She is sick. Because she doesn't clean that silver spoon well enough, and it's like an ongoing repeat of getting sick because there's food buildup from other food. You know what I'm saying? So, man, yeah. That's what it is to have a dirty silver spoon. On both ends. That sucks. This podcast is brought to you by Gometa. Tired of breaking the bank on gloves that keep breaking on your keeper? Though the quality is there, but doesn't seem to last. And then when you go and trying to find another pair, it's not there. Or when you do, it's not in the colorway that you like. Why not try Gometa at gometagk.com, where you can find any cut that you want for $55. And you get to choose what color you want to wear. That's right. If you don't like that orange and you want it to be all black, it's all black for you. At Gometa GK, they give you the freedom to choose what color and what you wear on your hands. You want negative cut? You got negative cut. It's there. You want finger saves? It's on there. If you don't want finger saves, you can take them out. At gometagk.com, they give you the options of not only a handsome glove, but a durable glove with a thick latex grip and the comfort and secure feeling once you put that in your hands. Man, it's uncomparable. It's actually comparable to the $250 brand. But when you combine it with Coach Phil, it feels better than that. And as a goalkeeper, we know what that feels like, man. So give them a go at gometagk.com, where you can choose what you want to wear. Well, yeah. And then tying it into the sports world, like students want to be that athlete. They want to be the professional. They want to be the next Ronaldo, the next Messi, the next what do you call it, Ter Stegen, or the next Manuel Neuer. You know what I'm saying? They want to be that pro. Okay, cool. With the right amount of people and the right coaches in front of your face, that is achievable. But it's for you. Can't go blaming your coaches. Oh, well, my coach isn't pushing me. Oh, my coach isn't doing it. No, we're pushing. We're doing our job. But are you holding the accountability for yourself as an athlete, to take charge of your nutrition and take charge of your workouts and take charge of your trainings and then your trainings after your trainings? Because that's a professional athlete's schedule. To be in that form, you have to already be doing those things. So whenever you're set to perform, you just perform. You don't think about it. You don't like, dang, I'm not prepared. No, you are prepared. You've been doing it for so long, you are ready. It's not like they just said, look, here's your stuff, and you're like, man, what do I do now? You've been accountable. You started off with your self-responsibilities and grew into your accountabilities, and now it's a daily routine. It's a daily thing for you to do to take care of yourself as an athlete, to build yourself as an athlete, to replenish and to recover as an athlete. So like, let's start off with this one kid. Bless his heart. But he keeps forgetting his equipment, and he always wants me to get to call to his mom or his dad because they live a couple blocks away from the training field. At first, I was like, the first couple of times I let him do it because it was his gloves, but then he grew an age, then he grew a year or two, and I was like, nah, bro, we can't keep doing this, man. I was like, I have spare gloves for you because his hands grew. I was like, I have spare gloves for you, but you got to give me 30 burpees. And then they don't want to do it, and they're like, do I have to? I'll do it after practice. And they want to negotiate with you. Like, you want to be that athlete? Get down, give me my 30, and then here you go. Let's get to training. You're wasting time. You know? And so these past few times, whenever he forgot his gloves, obviously I had my spares. But you gotta give me my burpees. You gotta fulfill the punishment. You know what I'm saying? As a coach, you don't get anything for free. In this world, nothing is free. Nothing is free. Even if it says free, it's not free. So, with that being said, he then ends up now he has the habit of using tape on your fingers. As a goalkeeper, I get it. It is injury prevention. He was telling me that, so you don't jam your fingers or hyperextend your fingers. I get it. But he just recently started doing it, and he forgot it at home, and he was begging so hard. He's like, Coach, I'll do 50 burpees and take a lap. I said no. I kept telling him no. I was like, I'll take the lap. I'll take the 50 burpees, but I'm not going to call your mom. I'm not going to call your dad. I'm not going to waste their time. I'm not going to get them to stop and drop what they're doing that's probably important at the house while you're here at training, supposed to be doing work, and you're worried about tape. And he was like, Coach, it's injury prevention. It's injury prevention. I was like, how long have you been using that tape? About 2 weeks. Okay, so you just started using it because last session we didn't have a training session. You just started using it. So you have never injured your hands here at my training session. What makes you think today is going to happen? So they're overthinking and they're like, please, Coach, please. No. I said, next time, it's got to be in your bag. Because I'm done calling your mom and dad to bring your stuff. You want to be an athlete? You want to be a pro athlete? Even a college athlete. Dude, you got to have your stuff in your bag. You know for a fact you got training later. Why isn't your stuff pre-prepped? Like it's ready at the door, so you just grab it and go. You grab your water, you grab your bag, and you get out. No, it's spread. It's in the garage, or it's in my mom's trunk, or it's in the living room. It's in the backyard. You got to have that responsibility. Like, I got to go put them back in my bag because I don't know what I'll do without my cleats. I don't know what I would do without my gloves. You know? So, having that, you see, it's just little self-responsibilities, but it turns into an accountability now because you're getting older, and you know for a fact, as a 13-year-old kid, you're no longer 10, you're no longer 12, you are 13. You're about to be a freshman in a year or two, so why aren't we already taking that accountability when we step up into that stage and ready for tryouts for high school? Let the coach see that we're accountable for everything that we have. You know, you want to be that athlete? Okay, you got to show it. You gotta step already into that form saying, I am this. I got to be this. It's because I need to achieve this. And take accountability for every step of the way. Whether you miss a rep or you do extra reps, you're taking accountability and growing. So, this brings me to one particular child. And when I say it's not easy doing this, the coaching thing alone. You know, in order for us to to build your child or to build your player to top form, it's got to be on and off the pitch. Always. It's always got to have that respect. Like I said earlier, the manners is kind of just a way of just not disrespecting somebody or being rude to somebody. Instead of us taking in that aspect, we got to make sure that we have our manners. To not be rude to somebody instead of just like it's something that just needs to be done. Like just don't be rude to anybody. And I feel like that's just the basic terminology for manners. Just don't be rude. So I had camp not too long ago, and well, it was what, day 3. The kids were already kind of like acclimated to each other. They were loving it. They were killing it. And well, during a water break, the kids had asked me like, Coach, what kind of video games do you play? And I explained to them that I don't play video games. My son plays video games. I do have consoles, but I don't play video games. I play a game called Wahoo. And if anybody knows what Wahoo is, it's like Parcheesi. If you don't know what it is, it's or like a game of Sorry. So, yeah. As I state that, a little girl decided that it was smart to blurt out, I would Wahoo your mom. She's 8 or 9. Literally, just blurts that out to me. So I turn around, I look at her dead in the eyes, and I said, go. But what, why, what, I didn't, you did, I heard you, now go. How many laps? You're lucky I don't make you do 6. Now go and take your lap. When you're done with it, you can come and speak to me and tell me why you thought that was appropriate to say. I said, if your father asks or your mother asks why you ran, are you ready to tell them? Well, it backfired on me, to be honest. Because at the end, I know when somebody's like joking and when they're trying to play like they're joking. So he had asked me in a unjokingly manner, why'd you make her run? Okay? And so chuckles don't make it softer. Like it felt like he wanted me to like give him a good explanation on why he made her run. And so I did. I gave him the whole story, following up with, I'll Wahoo your mom. And he laughed. What? No, man. Oh, man, dude, I'm sorry. I'll make sure and talk to her and let her know not to say that stuff in public, and that's not okay. I appreciate that. But how about we just don't let her say that at all? And the next time she says something like that, you need to hold her accountable. You got to take something away. You got to be able to hold your child accountable. And I'm not saying beat your child. I'm not saying smack your child. But punish them accordingly to what you know that they like and take it away. Or make them write sentences. Like, go old school. Kids don't want to sit there and write. Nope, you got to finish it. Nope, you got to finish it. Like, she's 8 or 9. How about she not say that at all? And then you go in the car and you let her know, you better not say that stuff ever again. Because I'm a father of a girl, and I would never let that fly. I would have called her like immediately as I was telling him the story. I would have called her over immediately if I was the father. I need you to apologize to your coach for what you said. She has not apologized to me. I don't care about an apology. I care about the manners. I care about the accountability, the accountability and the respect you're supposed to have to your coach that's supposed to be making your child the player that you want her to be or that she wants to be. So again, you're teaching your child like, yeah, I can get you anything you want, but that's not helping her clean the silver spoon. And at some point, it's going to become a delusion to where she's going to want to do and say whatever she wants. And that, she's a lady, dude. She's a little girl. Let's do better on that, man. I would never let that fly if it was my kids. I would have made them run an extra lap. Like, I would have been like, no, an extra lap for me for disrespecting. And I get it. But you do make your parent look kind of bad. Because it's like, dang, like, is this what is being taught to your child? To make outlandish jokes like this that men make to each other? Like, I get it. If it was a joke that my friends made, I'm cracking up and probably dissing them back. But this is an 8-year-old girl. Why is she saying outlandish things like that? And then not taking accountability for it and not even wanting to run. And then the repercussion, I don't even, like, I didn't get a sorry. Like, as a parent, I would have told her, no, you need to apologize to your coach for what you said. I just got to, I'll talk to her. Not to say that stuff in public. Dude, not to say it at all. Please. So. Oh, man, dude. And then, oh, man. Oh. And then the parents that want to, like. Oh, man, dude. I know, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, targeting. But it's not targeting. It's what I'm witnessing as a coach. Because if we want these kids to be the better versions of ourselves, and to break any kind of generational curses or passes that have come down our line and be better in our bloodline and better in our family, why aren't we teaching them how to be according? Like how to be that awesome earthling. Like, I have parents that want to pull kids off during training because they think it's too hot. I get it. I can't say, like, what you think about the kid. Like, what you, like, I can't tell you no. Like, no, he's staying. I can't tell you no. So I allow it to happen. But I want you guys to understand that you're basically allowing your kid to feel like, okay, well, I mean, if it gets too tough, like, I'm just going to, like, stop. I'm just going to quit because it was too hot. Or I'm too tired. Like, no. Why? Why is it special that they get to leave or they get to take an extra water break? Because what you said. Now, I didn't say go take a water break. I know how hard I got to push these kids in order for them to achieve certain levels. But if you are interrupting, you're allowing them to say, like, oh, we don't have to listen to the coach. I'm just going to listen to my dad. Or I'm going to listen to my mom whenever they decide that I need to take the water break. So the respect for the coach isn't there. Even if you ask the coach, like, hey, coach, I'm going to pull them off. Like, they need a water break. The other people don't. The other keepers don't. The other field players don't. Like, just wait a little longer. I'm going to send them soon. Just wait a little longer. They got to get pressed. And then they're not holding themselves accountable to that workout. So I think that some parents just need to trust the process and understand that you're putting your child in a sport to be an athlete. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want them to be an athlete and you just want them to have fun, then they're just a kid that played soccer before. And I get that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you tell me I want this, like, my son wants to be an athlete. My son wants to be a professional goalkeeper. My son wants to be a professional soccer player. My son wants to play college. we're not going to get anywhere, or you're not going to level up in your team if you're deciding when they take a water break and not me. You know, I'm accountable to how hard I press your kid. I get it. And sometimes they'll puke. Sometimes they'll just cry. Sometimes they'll hyperventilate because they don't know how to control their breathing yet. It happens. But we're never going to be able to teach them or coach them through that if you don't let us do what we need to do. We get it. It's your kid. But you have us accountable to make them better. So when you take our job away, it's like, dude, like, kind of chill. Like, trust the process. They'll survive this. They'll be okay. You know? So, yeah, we just got to make sure we're teaching our kids that it's okay to go through tough things. Like, life isn't easy. Life is always going to be tough. Life is always going to show, put obstacles in front of us. And what are we going to do? Like, say, I don't got to do it. Nah. Then the accountability, it depletes. Then nothing they want to do is, I don't have to, or I don't want to. Until mommy and daddy aren't around, and it's like, shit, I gotta. How do I? I don't know. You know? Then it's too late. I'm not saying that they won't get out of it, but it's going to be harder when they're older because they weren't held accountable or gave self-responsibilities. So, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying every kid has a silver spoon, you know? And it's okay if you don't. But to have manners, aka to just not be rude to somebody, having the accountability as a human being to treat others respectfully, having the self-responsibility to show the world that you had a great upbringing with two great parents and with great siblings. I get it, not every household is the same. But why do you have to victimize yourself and say, oh, well, my household this and my mommy this, and why does that have to be you? Why can't you take accountability for your own self and say, you know what, that's not me? Why can't you look at the situation, whether you're a kid right now listening to this or an adult listening to this? Why can't we look at the situation and say, that's not me? No, that's not for me. Why do we got to keep pressing it? Trying to force things and be wrong and strong, and then you don't want to take accountability when you're wrong. So we got to do better. And it starts with the youth. And I say it in every podcast. Adults, parents, the youth are watching us. And the more good we do, the more better they're going to do. And same thing goes for bad. They're watching. They're listening. They're seeing. They're observing. My mommy did this. I'm going to do this. My daddy did this. I'm going to do this. They got away with it. They're safe. And if they get caught, now it's, dang it. Like, dang, they saw me. They watched me. And now you're feeling that guilt. And then now you have to take accountability with a little extra stress. So, whew, what a long one, man. This one was a big one. I'm so happy I'm back on this thing. Oh, man. But yeah, you know, as human beings, if we don't take accountability in our actions as adults, it's never, the cycle's always going to continue with the youth, and then their youth, and then the youth after that. It's just going to continue if someone doesn't stop and take accountability to change a cycle or change something about themselves, to make themselves better, to make the household better, to make the world better, to make your playing environment better. I just spit super huge. That was crazy. And take accountability for that slip if I fall. So, yeah, guys. I hope everybody's doing all right again. And, whew, wow, I feel like I could talk forever on this one. Honestly. It's just so much. You know, even like workers nowadays, God. You can tell they don't want to be there. You go through a drive-thru at Whataburger, they hate their life that they have to serve you food or that they have to take your money. Man, they do not want to be there. But they're starting to understand, right? I'm getting to an adult, man. This stuff sucks. Like, man, I had to start taking accountability, and they weren't taking accountable or given self-responsibilities at a young age, and well, now they're giving this self-responsibility and accountability to be at a job that they don't even want to be at. When they could have applied themselves in their earlier years, you know, taking accountability for what they really want in life and taking action instead of waiting for your life to come to a certain point, and then you're like, well, shit, what do I do now? So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, guys. I hope everybody has a great day, has a great week, has a splendid rest of the year. I'm going to continue to be on here, or if anything, I'm going to try next week. If anything, I'm going to try the week after that. I'm taking accountability. I'm missing days on this, I know. But to be honest, like I said, it's summertime. It's all gonna it'll all soon come to a close, and I'll be back on a schedule with this. So that concludes another episode of the Coach Phil podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Coach Phil. Stay locked in.